Hello friends, my name is Chanchal Agrawal and in today's session we will see types of grammar. We have generally four types of grammar. First one is type 0 grammar, second one is type 1 grammar, third one is type 2 grammar and fourth one is type 3 grammar. We will see all this grammar one by one. First one is type 0 grammar. Type 0 grammar is also known as unrestricted grammar. As the name suggests, unrestricted means this grammar have no restriction and known as most powerful grammar in theory of computation. This grammar have the productions like this: alpha tends to beta, and in alpha we can have any combination of variables and terminals, and beta also belongs to any combination of variable and terminal. But the only point is that in the alpha we can not have epsilon, but in the beta side we can also have epsilon symbol. Okay, we can have any variable or terminal combination here, and we can also have any variable and terminal combination here. Now coming to the type 1 grammar. Okay, type 1 grammar is context sensitive grammar. Means if we apply any restriction, means if we apply somewhat restriction on type 0 grammar, then we derive type 1 grammar. Means type 1 grammar is derived from type 0 grammar only. Means the restriction is if we take alpha, length of alpha is less than equal to beta. Means here we have no restriction on the length alpha and beta, but here if the length of alpha is less than equal to beta, means we have applied a restriction on this grammar, so we derive context sensitive grammar. So for example, the length of alpha can be equal to beta. Okay, length of alpha can be less than equal to beta, but if we take this production, in this length of alpha is greater than beta, so this type of production is not allowed in context sensitive grammar, but it is allowed in type 0 grammar, means unrestricted grammar. Okay, now if we put more restriction on type 1 grammar, then we derive type 2 grammar. Okay, type 2 grammar is also known as context free grammar. Now first of all we will have to understand that what is context. What is context? Means if you have this type of production, okay, now this variable a have left context a, and this is known as right context of a. Okay, now if you write a production like this, okay, in which you write a and here is nothing and here is nothing, alpha alpha, so left context is 0 and right context is also 0. So we are freeing this variable from having any context. And in the CFG we have a restriction that in this side, at the alpha side, we should have only variable, we don't have left context and we don't have right context, and from the beta side we can have the combination of variable and terminal. That is why it is called context free grammar, because we are freeing this variable from having any context. Okay, so you can see the format. At this side, we have only variable and we don't have left context and we don't have right context. But in this grammar you see that context sensitive grammar, the a has left context also, a has right context also. So in this context free grammar we have the productions like this, in which a tends to alpha. Means alpha can have the combination of any variable and terminals. So these type of grammars are known as context free grammar. Okay, now type 3 grammar. Type 3 grammar, when we put more restrictions or type 2 grammars, if we put more restrictions on type 2 grammar, then the type 3 grammars are derived. Type 3 grammars are also known as regular grammars, and it can be classified into two types, right linear or left linear. Okay, right linear and left linear. Right linear means if we have a variable on the right side, means if we have repetition on the right side, then it is known as right linear grammar. If we have the repetition on left side, so it will be left linear grammars. Okay, the value of a and b can be any variable, and x belongs to sigma star. Now the example of regular grammar can be such as, this is the right linear grammar, this is the left linear grammar, and we can have also the symbols like this. Now we are talking about linear grammar. What is linear grammar? In the linear grammar, if there exists only one variable on LHS, means left hand side, and at most one variable on the RHS, it is known as the linear grammar. Okay, linear grammar means you can have A as B, B as A. Okay, you can have this also, means these are known as middle linear because we have the repetition in middle. This is known as right linear. Okay, this is also known as right linear. So in the regular grammar, we have only left linear and right linear, but we don't have the middle linear grammar. Okay, so the regular grammar are subset of linear grammar, because in regular grammar we have only left linear or right linear, but in linear grammar we have middle also. ठीक है, middle, left and right. So the regular grammars are subset of linear grammar. Now coming to the very important point, Chomsky hierarchy. Okay, in Chomsky hierarchy you see that first of all I have told the unrestricted grammar. Okay, then if we put some restriction on unrestricted grammar, such as I have told that alpha should be less than or equal to beta. Okay, so if we put some restriction on this grammar, then we derived context sensitive grammar. So 1 is derived from 0. Okay, and when we put some restriction or on context sensitive grammar, then we derive context free grammar. Means context sensitive grammar was of the form AAB. Okay, if we free this variable from having any context, then we derive context free grammars. Okay, now from the context free grammar, on the context free grammar we can have the right side any value. Okay, such as a, b, c. Right side we can have any combination of variable and terminal, but in the regular grammar we can have only left linear grammar and right linear grammar. So if we are putting some restriction on context free grammar, then we derive regular grammar. Okay, so type 3 is a subset of type 2, 1 and 0. If a grammar is regular grammar, then it will be automatically context free, context sensitive and unrestricted grammar. Okay, if the grammar is like type 2, so it is not compulsory that it will be regular grammar, but if the grammar is of type 2, it will be 1 and 0. If the grammar is of type 1, then the grammar will be of type 0. Okay, because 1 is derived from 0, 2 is derived from 1 and 3 is derived from 2. Okay, now if you see this, okay, if you see this, for type 0, we always have recursive enumerable language, and for these kind of language we always design a machine named as Turing machine. Okay, TM means Turing machine. Turing machine can be classified into two types, which is deterministic Turing machine and non-deterministic Turing machine. So type 0 has language recursive enumerable language and machine as Turing machine. Okay, now type 1 has language context sensitive language. CSL means context sensitive language, and we design a machine known as linear bounded automata for context sensitive language, and which has deterministic linear bounded automata and non-deterministic linear bounded automata. Now type 2, for the type 2 we have context free languages. Okay, type 2 we have context free languages, and the machine which we design for CFL is known as PDA. PDA means push down automata, and we have two type of push down automata: deterministic push down automata and non-deterministic push down automata. For type 3 we always have regular language, and we design finite automata which can be classified into two types: deterministic finite automata and non-deterministic finite automata. Now see these four statement, and please choose the right option. Okay, if a language is CFL, is this correct? A language is CFL but not RL. Of course, this is correct. A language can be CFL but not RL. Means in the CFL we can have this production also. Okay, in the CFL we can have this production also, but this does not belong to RL because regular grammars are always left linear or right linear but not middle linear. Okay, so this is the superset. Okay, this is the superset and this is the subset. So we know that the thing which belong to superset cannot be belong to subset. Okay, but the thing which belong to subset will always belong to superset. Okay, now see the second point. CSL, a language CSL is CSL but not REL. Is this possible? If a language is CSL and that language will not be REL, is this possible? It is never possible, because we derive CSL only from REL. When we put some restriction on REL, then CSL is derived. So how it can be possible that a language is CSL but not REL? It is not possible. So this statement is wrong. Okay, now third one is REL but not RL. A language is REL means, if I take an example, that AAB, ABB, okay, ABB, this language is REL but not regular language. Of course, because this is a superset and this is a subset, so this can be belong to superset but not subset. Now fourth one is RL but not CSL. This can never be possible, because if we write a language like this, so if the regular language is always left linear or right linear. Okay, so if the language is regular language, because it is a subset, if a language belong to this, then it will always belong to CFL. So this statement is totally wrong. Now coming to expressive power. What is expressive power? Expressive power means number of languages accepted by a particular machine is known as expressive power of that machine. Now language accepted by finite automata. Finite automata is regular language. Okay, now language accepted by push down automata is what? Push down automata accept CFL. Okay, push down automata accept CFL, and we have this under CFL. So push down automata accept CFL and RL also. Okay, regular language also, because we are having subset. Linear bounded automata will accept CSL and CFL and RL. Okay, because these two are subset of CSL. Now Turing machine will accept all these. So that's why expressive power of Turing machine is the most powerful machine in the theory of computation. And Turing machine, expressive power of Turing machine is greater than linear bounded automata, then push down automata and finite automata. Okay, now expressive power of DFA is equal to expressive power of NFA. I have also made a video lecture on conversion of NFA to DFA. So because the expressive power of DFA is same as NFA, that's why it is possible to convert NFA into DFA. Okay. The expressive power of NPDA, non-deterministic push-down automata, is greater than expressive power of deterministic push-down automata. So that's why when we will come through the push-down automata, then we will see that NPDA cannot always be converted into DPDA. Okay. The machines which have same expressive power can be converted into each other, like NFA can be converted into DFA. Okay. And the expressive power of deterministic Turing machine is equal to the expressive power of non-deterministic Turing machine, means the languages which is accepted by non-deterministic Turing machine can also be accepted by deterministic Turing machine. Okay. But the default finite automata is DFA. The default PDA is NPDA, because NPDA accept more languages than DPDA. Okay. The default Turing machine is deterministic Turing machine. Now coming to the next point, identify the types of grammar. Now we have this grammar, and we have to identify the type of grammar. Now identify the minimum type and minimum possible subset, and then if it is coming in 3, so if the language is regular, so it will automatically be CFL, and then CSL, and then recursive enumerable language. Okay. And if this type of grammar is coming under type 3, then automatically it will be of type 2, then type 1, and then type 0, because 3 is derived from 2, 1 and 0 only. 2 is derived from 1 and 0. 1 is derived from 0. Okay. So this language is right sensitive, right linear grammar. So this is the regular grammar. So if the grammar is regular, then automatically it is a CFG, and automatically it is context sensitive grammar and unrestricted grammar. Okay. So it will be of all the types. Now second one is this grammar. Is this grammar is left linear or right linear? No. So it is not of type 3. So we will check for type 2. Now yes, it is of type 2, because we have only one variable here and we can have anything here. So it is of type 2. If it is of type 2, then it will be of type 1 also, and it will be of type 0 also. Now coming to this example, if now for this grammar we will check if this grammar is not of type 3, this grammar is of type 2, then it will be of type 1 and will be of type 0. Okay. Now for this grammar, it is the right sensitive grammar, so it will be of type 3, and then type 2, and type 1 and 0. Okay. Now we have very important note. Finite automata does not have any memory element. Okay. Means the regular languages are useful only to represent strings without having any comparison. Okay. Such as we can create a finite automata for a to the power n and b to the power n. Okay. B to the power m, where the value of n and m is different. Okay. It does not have any comparison. So it does not have any memory element. Now the push down automata. Push down automata is nothing but it is a finite automata with one memory element. If we add a stack to the finite automata, then it will be a push down automata, and the push down automata is used for that strings which have one comparison only one comparison. Okay. One comparison. Now Turing machine is nothing but finite automata, and if we add two stacks into the finite automata, then it will be a Turing machine. Okay. And if we add 2 stacks or 3 stacks or 4 stacks, then it will have the same power, because the most powerful machine is Turing machine, and it is for finite automata with 2 stacks. Now we add any stack, 3 stack or 4 stack, it has the same power. So the expressive power of Turing machine is greater than PDA than FA, finite automata. Thank you friends for watching this video, and if you like the video, so please click on like and subscribe button. Thank you.